Good evening, Bruin fans, and welcome to another edition of Sports Talk with Rags here in Season 3, Episode 52. And tonight, here we are honored by not only Bruins head coach, but a longtime friend here, the new basketball coach for varsity boys at Western Branch, Charles Thomas. Coach Thomas, how you doing this evening?
Hey, Rags, I'm breathing, man. I'm alive. I'm kicking. God is blessed. Man, I just want to take a moment though and say congratulations on the awesome job you're doing with your talk show, man. It is enlightening. You're representing the Western Branch community and the Western Branch alumni to the max. And man, it is. I pray that it's going to go far, far and exceed our community all the way over to the other parts of the world.
Well, hey, Charles, I certainly appreciate it, and definitely gotta give a shout out, to Mike Sharp, who gave me this idea in 2021, and on
Wow.
the heels of the Norfolk Sports Club Jamboree, we started this the week before the Super Bowl. So I asked Mike, I said, "Who do you got?" And he said, "I just had the idea. Who do you have?"
Wow.
I said, well, the first guest with doing it before the Super Bowl there in February 2021 has to be another Bruin alum, Dre Black.
Well, man, I'm gonna tell you something. I just talked to Mike Sharp, just a wonderful young man, class of 1993. Yeah, Western Branch High School, baby. And matter of fact, he's gonna be coming down soon from the Northern Virginia area, imparting some things into our young basketball players over the offseason. He's committed young man who was a basketball player himself, standout player, and then took his talents to George Mason, had a great career. He's a father, a Christian man. We had a great conversation last night, and he's excited about the. Matter of fact, I tell you what, Rags, from talking to him, you would have thought he got the job.
Right. It is just an amazing thing of, I wish I still had the junior high t-shirts,
Wow.
back when we were there, and on the back of it or on the front it said, "You can't just hide that Bruin pride."
Yes, sir. Good times, baby. Good times. Good times.
That's great. Well, hey, you were a long time JV basketball coach, but when did your coaching here in the area start? It started with coaching middle school athletes there with CJ, right?
Well, honestly, a little bit before that. I was in the military, Army band. I was a band officer, enjoyed my time in the military. Had an injury. Actually, the injury was from playing sports in high school and so forth, but they just flared up again and took a medical discharge, honorable medical discharge, and stayed in the area where I was stationed at last, and then came home in 04. And we started coaching while we were in the military, but then my son was 9 years old. True story here. It's funny story.
Right.
Moved here, what you're talking about, CJ, my oldest,
Right.
moved here in 04.
Yeah.
Went to Western Branch Community Center. This is true story here.
Mhm.
Walked in, some of the great people that were still there working there when I was a teenager,
Yeah.
running the football league, and on somebody's team. I missed the signups. They are the pit teams. And Russell, I don't know if you remember him.
Yes.
Russell tells me, well, Charles, you know what? He goes, man, we got about 20, 22 kids on the waiting list. And if we had a coach, it'd be a great idea. All these kids could go play, man. I'm going, yeah, let's find them a coach.
Right.
He looks at me, he goes, yeah, I think we found one right here, you. But here's the kicker out of this, Rags.
Yeah.
Jonathan Allen.
Yeah.
He's one of those kids.
Right.
That plays for the Redskins right now.
Yes.
Him and CJ ended up growing up together, playing football, basketball together.
Right.
And nobody knew each other. It was a bunch of kids that nobody knew. And that team won the city championship 2 years in a row.
Wow.
It was really good. I had Jonathan Allen in that team.
Right.
I had this other kid named Rashad. His dad was military. He ended up moving out of Western Branch zone to Florida, I believe, around his 8th grade year. But those kids were immaculate. They were incredible. And all of them, I think we kept in touch. About 9 of them went and played at the college level. And then Jonathan, of course, he's a starter on the Washington Redskins right now.
Yeah.
But I talked to him about a month ago,
Right.
doing real good. So that's where it really started as far as this area. Started coaching in the military, though, but in this area, started coaching there. And then did 2-3 years in the rec league, football and basketball.
Right.
Of 07. Actually, before then, 05, I was working at Ocean Lakes High School.
Oh, okay.
And had an opportunity to talk to Coach Head and help a little bit out there with him. And then 07, Coach Lou Johnston was at Jolliffe Middle.
Mm-hmm.
And he came to Jolliffe Middle, left Western Branch. I think it was 07 or 08, somewhere around there.
Right.
And asked if I would come help. And because by that time my son CJ was about 12 years old, so he was there. Right. And next thing you know, man, I'm engulfed at Jolliffe, coaching basketball, girls basketball, boys basketball, helping out with each one. AAU club, and actually the AAU club kind of turned into the way that Chris Furman kind of invited me to come help him when he got the job at Western Branch High School.
Yeah,
so that was the foundation of it all.
Right, and maybe here with Jonathan Allen growing up in Western Branch and being a star on the Commanders, maybe he would have some time to come on Sports Talk with Rags here before training camp starts.
Hey, that'd be awesome, man. Hey, I got the contacts.
Okay, all right. But you know what, Charles? I mean, it's just amazing on how, I remember when you went in the military, but just how the Lord works out everything here to come back, so-called home, and Coach Jay, saw him last night, but he stays in contact here with all of us over the years, and just starting out there helping with Jolliffe, and hey, start back where the waiting list needed a coach, and now you're varsity boys basketball. They're at our school.
Yeah, man. I'm proud. It's funny. You try to go for other aspirations, and the path that I believe in God. My beliefs, and I'm a strong Christian. I try to live that way, and how His path is different from what we think we ought to do.
Right.
But this all feels right. It all feels right. It wasn't a struggle. Everything it kind of lined up right. How in order. It didn't affect anything around me. It seemed like the right time, the right place, and everything, and all the support from the community. It's been awesome. My wife, I'm not a Facebooker, but she was just in awe about because when they put it out, the basketball program put it out, and the school put it out, and so I wrote a little blurb. I'm not a social media guy that much.
Right.
A little blurb and just thanking God for the opportunity. And that evening, she goes, you got over 600 comments on that. I'm like, what, really? And it was the Western Branch community, and everybody, it was great comments. I got phone calls, people I haven't heard from in years, old classmates, just congratulating and excited about what we're going to do. I'm gonna tell you, man, our program is not in shambles. My last leader, head coach, Paul Hall, oh my goodness, what a mentor, and he's become a close brother to me. And he left the program. He handed it over in great shape. Oh my goodness, handed it over in great shape. I'm not trying to go and fix a sinking ship. The ship is riding astray. It's funny how we don't realize how blessed we were in our culture.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I mean, for many years, about 6-7 years straight, we never lost more than 2 games in the season. We find ourselves in states a couple years back to back, find ourselves in regionals, and when we go 15-7, to us,
Yeah.
It's not the standard. But then you look at other people going, you just had a great season. We can't win a game over here. So but it's just the culture that we've built and the
Right.
culture and then the expectations that we have of our program. And so again, he left it in great shape. So I'm excited. Everybody's on board. The kids are working hard. Kids been working hard. Kids been getting after it, man. We had a great workout today. That's why I just getting on now. It took me some time to get on. This is a crazy week for us in basketball
Right.
because we're in our youth camp this week.
Right.
We host a youth camp, and I think it's a great opportunity to pour back into the community. Kids come excited. I must say, there's a reason why I'm not at elementary school though, but but they're having a blast, man. They're having a blast. So we have to move our workouts to the evening, and so the players are some of the players are helping out in the camp,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
they come back in the evening and do a 2.5 hour workout with us, and they're getting after it, man. They're getting after it. We kind of laid out our plan and foundation about how we want our culture to be and maintain what we've already built and take it further and try to take that leap, of taking it to the next level. There's always more you can go and push for higher. So I just want to make the Bruin community and family proud, man. That's all I want to do.
Well, and that kind of piggybacks on, one of the former guests, from back at the beginning of the winter was Corey Bailey, and he
Yeah,
just he just commented how the basketball program has been a family. I mean, even when Coach Furman moved on, you stayed as the JV. Coach Hall came in. You still were a varsity assistant,
yeah,
there with being the JV head coach. But it's like Coach Hall came right in and
yeah,
continued where, the Bruin high school basketball program had been nothing but a family
yeah.
the last few years.
Yeah. We strive for that. We do certain things to try to keep that environment. I'm really seeing these last few weeks. I'm seeing because I'm talking to a lot of people. Of course, in this phase, you get people interested in coming over to coach. You get
Yeah.
kids interested in coming in, and but I'm you get other coaches talking about how it's been and what they're expecting it to maintain. And the compliments of what they've seen for the last 9 years. Me and Coach Aldi, we're together for 9 years.
Yeah.
Um, he had an incredible run, man. I don't.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man, incredible run. His resume the last 9 years is just impeccable. I've been fortunate. I didn't realize it until Coach Hall told me it, but in 9 years, man, I only lost 21 games in JV level,
Wow.
and won 129 games.
Yeah.
That's incredible. It incredible. But it's the kids.
Right.
It's not us, man. The kids are buying into what we're doing. We care about our kids. I got one that's going through some situations right now. His family, and it's about that's important to me. Yeah, the ball and the basket gonna take care of itself. But that young man who needs help in a situation, that's what's important because he has to know that in his coach, he has a mentor, he has a family, he has somebody he can call when things get tough. And so and Coach Bailey is right. He's one of the guys we reach out to our middle schools, try to as much as possible. We do a middle school night, bring them in, man. They eat with the team, do a team meal with them. They love it. They get introduced at halftime.
Yeah.
Come out there, shake hands, and it's great, and it gives them something to look forward to when they get ready to cross over to that next level, come to the high school level.
You,
So
and also Elizabeth, my wife, she was able to come to the football banquet here this past year, and we'll never forget, where you were just talking about, yes, I'm the head coach, but I also want to be a mentor and be here for my players. Well, Elizabeth and I were talking with leaving that football banquet,
mhm,
how the
yeah,
seniors, and nothing against the underclassmen or the juniors, but the seniors with them getting ready to graduate, they had some podium time, but they
Yeah,
looked right at you and Coach Cook,
yeah,
and
yeah,
just talked about, how, they appreciated Coach Cook, you, and all the coaches here with not only being coaches, but being mentors when they were coming in as freshmen and the pandemic was going on. So,
yeah, yeah.
winning games is great, but that's got to be more rewarding when athletes look at you in the eye and say, thank you for being there for me.
I tell you what, Mark, that moment, that moment challenged me. I remember that moment what you're talking about, and one, we appreciate you for spending that night with us, you and your wife, man. That was a blessing to have you guys in the house. But I fought back tears. I tried to.
Right.
You don't want to cry in front of the guys, but it's like, geez, man, this
Right.
is tough. Because his kid is pouring out his heart to you and just sharing his sentiments of the last 4 years of his life, and how they were appreciative of it. And that's all I need. I don't need anything else. I tell them all, man, I don't need nothing else. I just want to see you be successful. I want to see you be thankful.
Right.
I want to see you take that next step. And that's what I think is crazy as could be. Rashad Cook, I never heard of him ever.
Yeah.
Honestly, never heard of him ever until Dr. Whitley called us in, introduced us. Excuse me, Mark Didowit
Yeah.
introduced us, and Mark Didowit's words was, "I think you guys would be the perfect match."
Right.
And from then on, it was like we knew each other for years, and we hadn't. When I tell you a remarkable man, that is a remarkable man.
Yes.
That is a remarkable man. And I love that's a matter of fact. Before I came on here, I was on the phone with him,
All
taking care
right.
of some things.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna ease out the football. This my last season.
Yeah.
I'm giving up duties now slowly, and gonna matriculate my way out of football just so I can really focus on basketball. But when I tell you the program that and he won't say this, he'll say no, we did it. But there's
Right.
always the head man has to sometimes put his fingerprint on certain things. But yes, he does take advice all the time. Calls me every time before he makes a decision about anything. Literally, I tell him, man, it's your decision. No, he'll say, no. That's what do you think?
Right.
And so, but we have had the opportunity of building a wonderful program. But it does something different when you've had and played for people like Lou Johnston, who
Yeah.
put the pride in you. So then when you come back, you want to see that same pride, that same culture, and so we just strive for that, man. It's funny. I just talked to another player that you should have on your show. He's a Jacksonville Jaguar.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I was looking to see how I could
Oh,
connect,
I
but
got his contact too.
okay.
We'll make it happen. It's easy. He actually hosted me and Coach
Yes.
Hall
That's
over the season last year, man. That was
awesome.
a hard trip because I'm a Cowboy guy.
Right.
Beat my Cowboys. I'm sitting there on the side like, oh God. But even we were talking on some things. He calls me. We chop it up. This is what I'm dealing with, Coach. What you think? Yada, yada, yada. Great kid, but it's that right there that's the rewarding part. I
Right.
ain't gotta have tickets. I ain't gotta have nothing, man. You doing good? Hey, you need me? I love it when I get phone calls. Hey, Coach, I'm getting ready to get married. I'm getting married on this day. I want you there.
Right.
That's the rewarding part. I just
Right.
had a baby, Coach. I want you to come and see my newborn. That's the part I live for right there. That
Right.
means I impacted that young man. And so that's what it's all about. It's about the kid's future. Again, all this other stuff, the pigskin, the round ball, it'll take care of itself. It'll take care of itself.
Yeah, and get back to coaching, and when you become a head coach, varsity, I mean, let's bring up Bruin baseball. I mean, because Coach Wright was definitely helping Lou, helping Scott, but as soon as he took over for Stanko as the head coach, he kind of stepped away here with his assistant football duties. I mean, the time comes. I know that you've had an impact there with Bruin football. But with serving Bruin, not only Bruin football, but Bruin JV basketball, and getting the opportunity of being the head coach. I mean, maybe if you were a head coach in the springtime, but it's definitely hard
Yeah.
with having a responsibility in the fall and then being the head coach here in a winter sport.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Really, I'm staying on. As bad as I hate, I'm staying on. I don't hate to stay on, but
Right.
I'm staying on only because it's too late in the game for them to try to hire this football position to try to get me a replacement.
Right.
And I get that. But yeah, it's tough. And we've had several meetings, and that's why I love our administration, our principal, and AD. We've had solid meetings, and we're all working together. Say, look, so there's going to be times I'm going to have to miss in football to go and make sure that I don't let basketball fall down. But yeah, we're going to wing ourselves off. You called a name, man. Coach Wright, again, another example of how to do it in the right way, how to take care of your young men and show your young men that you care about them as people first, and then the athletic part to take care of itself. Yeah, he did the same thing. And so yeah, we already know. Coach Cook already knows we're gonna dive through this season and navigate through this season, and then we're gonna wing ourselves off and so we can really lock in on basketball. I'm fortunate. We're putting together the staff. Some are staying on, and some, are ready to move on, which is great.
Mhm.
That happens, man. That's life.
Right. Right.
Um, that's how the coaching carousel is. Nothing wrong with that. Um, this staff that we've had, great. Oh my goodness, incredible staff. Coach Herman Dixon, Coach Tracy Vincent, great guys. Coach Brandon Newsom, Shane Barona has joined us the last 2 years. Former Bruin
Right.
basketball player. And so some of them are staying on, and some we're going to bring some younger guys that played on our staff that went to those state championships and knows what it takes to get there, knows the style that we're looking for, and but mainly understands the culture and what it is to have that family dynamic
Right.
in athletics. And so we're creating that staff right now as we speak. So it's gonna be. I'm looking for much success, but much success from our young men as being a man, as a young man, and developing into a man.
Right. Yes. And the thing, and Charles, I appreciate the time that you came on, but what an awesome thing! First week out of school, and you're doing something for the younger kids, and definitely showing the current players how to give back,
Yeah.
even while they're in high school, because those kids, they look up to high
Yes.
school athletes.
Yes, that's true. And when they come to those games, and they see those players, but to say I had some one-on-one time with these guys right here that are playing in front of me right now. Oh, you just made that kid's life.
Right.
You just made that kid's aspirations, and so you set goals without giving him goals, but he sees what that player is doing, and so that's why we make sure that we do things in the community to keep ourselves in line and keep ourselves active. We volunteer basketball, man. We do a lot of volunteer football and basketball. A lot of
Yeah.
volunteer work. Turkey giveaways. Matter of fact, we call it the Turkey giveaway day. Most years we hit three different people, three different organizations who are giving away turkeys or Thanksgiving baskets that season. Christmas season, we do volunteer work. We're going to do something different this year. We're going to try to go down to the elementary schools and read to the elementary kids.
Yeah.
Let them know that reading is important.
Right.
Comprehension is important. But to see the gentleman you come see Friday nights on the hardwood, come out and sit down with you, take the time out and read and show you that how important that is. So that's something that we're trying to connect with right now. And then some other activities that are coming in our community. But we're just trying to show them that you're not just an athlete, but go and impact somebody else. Go make a difference in somebody else's life. So that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and the thing is going 64 West there to the Siegel Center there in 2018. I mean, that was, and you were, I know that you were part of the coaching staff, and you were there on the court, but they're in the stands. I mean, Mike coming, D-Ron
Yeah,
coming, Mr. Brander, and I rode up with Angie and Bobby and
yeah,
Michelle Prater and her mom. I mean, just
yeah,
Rowan alums all over making that ride to support the team. And I want to say that there was a group of Bruin crazies.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
even with the student bus that the
yeah.
school set up, just great support there with the cheerleaders and the basketball team there in 2018 when we made it to the state final.
Yeah, that was a great time. And we're looking, not so much I'm saying we're going to get to the state finals, but that same atmosphere. That year and the year after that, and the year before that too. If you walked into Western Branch gym to play Western Branch, you had to play Western Branch boys basketball, and you had to play the crowd,
Right.
because that crowd was the community was in the house every home game. Coaches would tell us, I do not like playing y'all at y'all gym because we got to hear this. We can't hear each other. It's loud. The Bruin crazies are going crazy. The parent are going crazy. It is hard to play in our gym, and so that was our home court advantage. And that's one of the things that I told our staff in our first staff meeting. That's one of the things we're going to make sure we target and get back active again. COVID kind of put a damper on a lot of things, and so some of those small things like that, it may have been small, but it was actually huge.
Right.
So it may have been small again, but it was actually huge. It's a small thing that they kind of got going, but it turned out to be a huge thing at the end of the day. So we're going to get that back going again. I already talked to some of the student body, getting with the SCA, and they're getting excited about it. We're going to get some shirts made up. We're going to create that whole atmosphere again, and we're going to get it back to how it was in 2018.
Yeah, and not that we didn't have school spirit when we were in the halls, but I think probably about maybe about 8-10 years ago, just the atmosphere there, football, then leading right into basketball season, and to have a home for football, home field advantage for basketball, a
Yeah,
home court advantage.
yeah.
Definitely awesome to see the school spirit with the student body.
Yeah. It's contagious. I say this a lot, and it still holds true to me. Some people may disagree, but when your football team does well, it sets the stage for everything else that comes behind it.
Right.
It kind of sets the school year off. It helps the school year to me. It brings pride to the building. Kids are more prideful about what's going on, and so it's always a big thing. Western Branch High School has always, to me, had a great football program, great football coaches. And so I really believe, again, we're going to have a great football season. I'm excited about our football team. I ain't going to let a lot out the bag, but I think it's going to be a great thing this year as well. But in that same in vein, we're looking to tag off of that, run into basketball, that same momentum going. And so, yeah, I think it sets the stage for everything. And when I tell you the pride that they have on Friday nights in the football stadium, we're going to have that same pride in the basketball on the basketball hardwood.
And I think the interesting thing, and I remember you going in the military, but the thing is when you first met Rashad, I mean, my sister and I, we we went to school with, I remember Malik,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
then I told Rashad, I said, I remember your senior year and you and Keith Burnell, they're battling it out and, being a great duo there in the backfield. But the thing is when those guys were seniors, that's when I was starting my career at the shipyard. So
wow.
with working and going to school at night, come Friday night, I mean, I was just tired that I definitely remember reading about that team,
Right, yeah,
and just football. There's a Bruin alum leading varsity now. Varsity boys basketball. there's a Bruin alum. It's just Mr. Hicks, Miss Foster, and then with Hiram Rashad, Dr. Whitley, and Didowick. It's it's also great to see alums come back and
Yes.
lead the program.
Yeah, yeah, and nothing against anybody outside of Western Branch, but anybody from any school when it's an alum, it's a little bit more meaningful, I believe. It's a little bit more meaningful to that coach and the effort. It shouldn't make a difference, but the effort is a little bit different.
Right.
You go that little extra mile because you were part of the way that has been paved, and you're part of the history. Now you want to see it do more than what it did when you were there. And so we're looking just to keep that pride around. It's something about Western Branch, man. It's a prideful place. It's a pride, man. And it's not, we're not arrogant. We're not arrogant.
No.
We're just it's pride. It's that Bruin pride. You cannot hide that Bruin pride. And so that's one of the things that I felt like some of these guys that we had on our team, they're great basketball players, but COVID just took away some of the pride things that we normally do to get them ready that transition from middle school to high school. I got seniors right now that did not play basketball the 8th grade or their 9th grade year.
Yeah, right.
So they're still trying to figure out, what the culture is, because a lot of things that we did in the off season to introduce that culture we couldn't do.
Right.
And so they missed out. People don't understand your off season are key.
Yeah.
To a program. And when you have a program where you take 2 years and you have no off season, it's tough. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough.
Well, and then also when you got middle school kids, that are the feeder program
Yes.
into the high school. That pandemic also hurt some middle school kids to get in game routine, because some of those 7th and 8th graders during that time, boom, they're 9th and 10th graders, and hey, it's time to compete here at the high school level.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That team, I coached a JV team. This is funny. I coached a JV team that did not play. Some of them did not play a middle school basketball game.
Right.
And that matter of fact, that team, we went 17-5.
Yeah.
And now let's think about this. No off season. I met them in October when they went. We got some guys in fall league at Boo Williams.
Yeah.
I would go over after my JV practices. I'll run over there, watch them play a little bit, see who can do what. So I'm learning names. What's your name? The assistants are coaching. They just call, hey, you come here. You go in. They don't know who kids are. We're in Boo. We're trying to figure out who this is, who that is. And then November comes. We're trying out. Most of the time, I have an idea, of what we got. No clue what we got. No clue what we got. And a lot of talent, but just starting and inputting the system instead of putting the system in over the summer. We're putting the system in November, and we're going to play a game the end of November. That's crazy. Crazy. And it's crazy thing. We still went 17-5. It was crazy.
Yeah, and the thing is, Charles, are you guys going to a Norfolk State team camp or Virginia Wesleyan team camp or out of state here this summer?
Well, we've actually been busy already. Before I was announced, I was operating in an interim role, which that's what the JV coach is supposed to do.
Right.
You operate in an interim role. And so they gave me the green light to still do things because they didn't want – everybody saw what happened with COVID and how that affected everything. So, it was like, hey, don't let them just stop, because if they just stop, then, we've seen what the results can be. Right. So we ended up going to St. Mary's team camp up in the Maryland area.
Yeah.
Great, nice Division III college. Did very well. Actually did better than what I thought we did. The varsity went 3-1 at their team camp. The JV, we took a JV group there. As well. Took some 8th graders, a lot of 8th graders, and a few returning JV kids that probably be possibly on JV, but it's kind of trying to figure it out. Right. Took that team there. They went 2-2. Did a good job. Introduced, it's incredible to watch the maturation for a middle school kid to playing high school basketball, and just to see their faces like, oh my God, this is faster. This is moving a lot faster. And so then we came back from that. A week later, for the opportunity, we went to JMU.
Okay.
Went to JMU team camp. That turned out very well for us. I talked to the JV coaches after the JMU coaches after the St. Mary's team camp. Saw, okay, I wanted to make sure that we got challenged so I can see really some of our faults. It's no reason to go to team camp and beat everybody, and you really don't see where you got to address issues at.
Right.
So once I saw how we did at St. Mary's, I contacted the JV coaches again and said, look, I don't know if you've done the schedule yet, but give us, some of the best you got.
Right.
Ended up playing 8 games in 2 days there. It was great team camp. Played some tough teams. We played Hargrave Military Academy. Oh my goodness! And actually, crazy thing, Rags. Crazy thing. Lost to him by 1.
Oh wow!
Crazy thing, man. Did a great job. But so until played some really tough teams, and so it showed us, hey, okay, now we're starting to see what we need to see. So we got one coming up. We got something coming up again. Matter of fact, our JV is playing tomorrow night. Our JV is in a summer league, Tidewater Summer League, what they call it, Hampton Roads Summer League. They're playing. Games are held at Atlantic Shores or I think it's PCS. Yeah, PCS.
Oh, okay.
Games are there. Either one tomorrow at Atlantic Shores, tomorrow night, JV kids. The JV summer stuff, I believe in putting JV kids in as much as you can get.
Yeah.
Because once you can get them to get that speed of the game, everything else is easy.
Right.
Just the transition from I can take a dribble and throw this long pass versus I do that at the JV level, that's a turnover.
Right.
So just get them to understand the transition. But the varsity has something coming up in July after the dead period.
Okay.
Then we'll be at the final team camp. We'll be at Virginia Wesley in August. That's a big team camp normally. And that's the one that we're going to use as our gauge to say, okay, here where we are. Here's what we need to address finally before we get ready to go in fall league in September and October.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're excited. We already been working, man. Kids been getting after it.
Yeah. Hard. And do you have your replacement for JV, or is that down the road?
We're looking to hopefully to have that field by the end of July.
Okay. Before
we have to go through the process,
right?
Through the Central Public Schools process. Job has to post, all that good stuff like that. So we're excited about it. Got a lot of candidates have contacted. From what I'm hearing, a lot of candidates are calling, and I've been contacted by a few coaches. Been contacted by some alum as well. And so that's all I can say about that.
Right.
But we'll see how that unfolds and go through that process, and hopefully by the end of July, because I'd like to get him going, whoever that it may be, he or she, whoever it is, to get them going and get with their guys. The guys are already there. The guys are, I want to say right now, JV, we got about 36 guys that work coming to workouts for the JV level, and the varsity level, we got about 29. No, actually, a little more than JV actually. And then the workouts, we can't say nobody can't work out. Everybody works out together, and we just go hard at it and challenge them every day.
Yeah. Well, Charles, somebody asked me here when they've seen my episodes, they're like, Mark, how do you get so and so? How do you I was like, some of these have been people that I grew up with, and I'm sorry for going long, but I mean, we're not going to say the exact years that we've known each other, but
please don't.
back there at Hawksley Drive, and I mean, I just certainly appreciate. And another thing is, Charles, I appreciate you coming on here. I know that I talked about interviewing assistants, but definitely now with being head coach of the varsity Bruins basketball, appreciate you coming on.
Well, I appreciate you, man, taking the time out, man. Again, what you're doing is remarkable. It's crazy how something small can just grow and grow and grow.
Right.
It's just remarkable. I'm proud of what you're doing, and man, we'll hopefully once I get my JV coach, we can come back and introduce him to everybody. If you have us, I don't know who it's going to be yet. Honestly, don't. But
Right.
but once we make the decision, I want our community to know who we are. Be in touch. I take pride in that. I want everybody. We're touchable. I don't want to feel like I'm standoffish or anybody in our staff feel like we're standoffish. We're part of the community, and so we're proud of our community. We're part of that Western branch. That we got that Bruin pride.
Yeah. And the thing is, this is on the heels of your high school class having a big reunion come
Yeah,
this
yeah,
fall.
yeah. I'm excited about that too, man.
That's
Mike,
right.
we're excited about that, man. That is crazy. I did not know that I'm the first alumni to coach in basketball either.
Yeah.
Somebody told me the other day, so
Yes.
excited about that too. Like, wow, okay, didn't know that either. So yeah, this is special. It's special, but at the same time, man, I just feel like it's the right times, the right season, and I just want to be a servant to these young men, man, and build them up, and then also make our community happy and proud.
Right. Yes. Well, hey, Charles, I know you got other things here going
Yeah.
on here with your summer just starting, but it's definitely an exciting time and look forward to maybe connecting with those two possible athletes to
Yes.
come
Yes.
back on the one that was on your first team where there was a waiting list. Hey, we need
Yeah.
a coach,
Yeah. Crazy, isn't it, man?
Hey,
Crazy. Crazy.
it's just amazing. And the other thing is maybe my people will talk to your people, and maybe we can continue something brewing here into the basketball season.
Hey, man, I love it. I love it. That'll be
Right,
exciting. It's funny you say that. I'm gonna share this with you only because you're my guy.
yeah,
But one of our coaches, I ain't gonna say who, on the
right.
coaching staff say, man, tell Rams to give basketball some love.
Yeah, yes, that's right. So
So definitely, man, definitely let me know. We'll set it up. I'll take the
right.
time out just for that, man.
Right. Well, hey, Bruin country. I mean, Coach Jay was telling me that when I started doing the Facebook Live, Coach Jay, when we came back from the regional championship, we ate with Coach Jones and his wife, and
Yeah.
we sat down at the table. Coach Jay said, "Rags, do you know that one of your viewers was a Bruin alum that lives in California?" I mean,
Wow.
it's just crazy how the Bruin community, even before we walked through the halls,
Yeah. Yeah.
was interested in the
Yeah.
football program, and now here with
Yeah.
another alum, leading the boys basketball. So thanks again, Charles, and stay in touch. And let's see, any final words there for the Bruin community or being part of, with your head coaching assignment?
Yeah, I just want to say, man, first of all, it's good to be home. I ain't left nowhere.
Yeah, right.
But we're excited. We're excited. Again, we want to make an impact in our community. We want to make our community proud, and want to make our young men that show them the love that Western Branch community has for the basketball program as well as football program and all the athletics and anything that goes on in the school. And so, if there's any way that anybody hears this that want to connect, or we can help out with a community service project, or you can sew back into our program, we'd love to connect with you and make something happen. Again, we're here and we're the hands and feet. I call it
Yeah,
we're the hands and feet of Jesus. We say at my church, we're the hands and feet of Jesus. And so at Western Branch, we're the hands and feet of Bruin Pride.
yeah,
So we always want to make sure that we take care of all our Bruiners.
right. Yeah. Well, hey, Coach Thomas. I mean,
Yes.
I remember I went to a Jolliffe Middle School game, and somebody's like, "Yeah, Coach Thomas," and I walk in the gym, and I was like, "That's Charles." But Coach Thomas, thanks again for coming on, and have a great summer, and talk to you later, man.
Likewise. Hey, and go Bruins.
Go Bruins. That's right. All right.
Have a good one. All right, Reds. Thank you.
All right. Yep.